Welcome back, team. Professor Mike Coachy back, graced by Ronde Leeds here in the UK again with another mount attack. Talking mount attacks all week. Got a video every single day to get you set for when you return to training. Today we're going to talk about getting to the S mount, applying maximal pressure on our opponent and finishing from the top with an arm lock. All right. If you checked some of our videos previously, we talked about staying on top. All right. I want to do whatever I can to finish in the mount, finish the fight in the mount. Don't give up position, laying back for arm bars unless you really need to. Okay, get comfortable staying on top, dominating the fight, and finishing from there. Okay, this is what it looks like. I'm in the mount position. If you checked out our video yesterday, the Ezekiel choke, we talked about getting from the low mount to the high mount, creating a distraction around the neck. So my opponent brings his arms up, I fill this space with my knees. Okay, lots of ways we can get to the high mount. Maybe we do it with the Ezekiel from here. Bring his hands up, I climb. Maybe I just cover the head, start to peel this space, okay? Systematically get to the high mount. However you get there, this is the position you want to be in, because this gives us maximum options around the limbs, around the neck, and minimal concern around the power of my opponent's hips. If you look at my feet now, they're glued to my opponent's hips, monitoring his hips, and if he bridges, I go nowhere. You know, in fact, if he bridges really high, I can always cross my feet beneath his lower back, creates maximal pressure on his spine and uncomfortable position. So once we get to the high mount, we're less concerned about our opponent's ability to escape. It should all be focused now on the finish. All right, one little tip for you before we move on. If I can get to a position where I'm sat directly above my opponent's sternum, I will actively sit heavy. Look, my knees come off the mat. I've got maximal weight pressing down onto my opponent's chest, making it hard for him to breathe. Okay, it's a little bit of hidden jiu-jitsu there, which will just provide maximal pressure. But we want to be able to move as well. So one nice place to go from here is the S mount. A couple of options for you. I can either swim through my opponent's arms and pull across to my center line. Hand comes to the mat, come high around the top of the head. You want to be coming round so your knee is aiming towards the crown of your opponent's head. And there's a reason for that. So this is option number one, to come through, like I'm going for an arm lock, pull to the center line. My chest now will come behind that elbow, making it hard for my opponent to retract his arm. I'll slide my knee up towards the crown of my opponent's head. Option two, we might just be able to come through here, get my chest to my opponent's elbow line, bring it across, again, does the same job. All right? The other option would be to maybe sink a choke. He goes to defend, and again, get my chest round and aiming to put his elbow on my center line, move that across. And the reason I'm talking about the center line and using your chest is we don't want him in a position where we're starting to try and pull this across here, because he's going to see it coming. All right, we need to be a little bit more subtle, use a little bit more finesse. Today, I'm going to come underneath, grab my opponent around the top of the elbow, move it across to my center line, just enough for my chest to do the job. Roll that through, hand on the mat for base, so I'm leaning this way. Knee comes to the crown of my opponent's head. Very important. Okay, now we need to attack the other arm, okay, and bring that into play. So I might switch this now. To my opponent's other elbow, pull that up, I lean towards my kneeled leg, swim my leg all the way around, and my cue now is to aim to put my heel to my knee. If those 2 points are touching, that's as tight as it gets. If you've got space here, maybe you've not come high enough, aim to get your knee and your heel to touch. Look what we got, it's Christmas. All right, decide where you want to finish this person now, okay? For me, from here, I'm going to come to the wrist line, pull it up, maybe I'll grab my own gi, maybe I'll hold it here, whichever one you want. For me, I like to come to the crook of the elbow, grab my own gi, I'm going to lean over, take a grip of my opponent's pants, gives me enough room to lean, knee comes in place, push at the hips, that's the finish. Okay, you might be able to hear some groan from the bum coach tees getting crushed here. So the great thing about this position is it gives us a lot of pressure onto our opponent's upper body, okay? So not only does he get us the finish, Okay, it takes his will away as well. So just turn this away from the coach T. We're going to go from a slight angle so you can see the leg work. Low mount position. However you get there, you figure out the problems. Okay, it's going to come to the high mount and be systematic. I'm not going to rush. I'm going to place maximal pressure on my opponent's rib cage. Thus denying his ability to breathe very well. I'm going to swim through the arm. Get my chest on top. Move my knee to the crown of my opponent's head. Look how high I am. This time I don't need to switch because his elbow's in a nice position. Come across with the elbow, lift it up. Leaning to this side to make this leg light. Swims all the way through. Knee, heel, touch. Arms are locked. Still heavy. You need to practice being heavy here. Right, now I go to the wrist. Crook of the arm, grab my ogi. That is now secure, perfectly placed. This time, you can lean on the floor for this. I prefer to grab my opponent's pants. Okay, just to lean. You can push them to the floor if you want. Lean over. Aim to bring my knees together. Squeeze my knees. Hips forward. There's the tap. All right. Super tight armbar from the mat. Sorry for that, Coach T. Great grappling partner. Never complains. Resist the urge to go for the lay down armbar unless you really need to. You can always finish on top. Try it out. It's super tight. Take care. Look after your training partners. See you guys soon.